Oh, hey, what's up, Doc?
Hail Odin! So a lot of the neo-pagans got really mad at me yesterday because I said that nobody follows those old European pagan religions. And they don't. Neo-paganism is an invention of mostly the later half of the 20th century. I like to say that they're witches with cell phones. And if you want to be a witch with a cell phone, or you want to, believe in Loki with a laptop, I'm fine with that. But you need to understand that the true pagan religions died out. The worship of the Norse gods died out, about 1,000 years ago? And then a few decades ago, they reemerged. A lot of it reemerged for the same reason that people started saying they were Jedi. They were culturally Christian atheists who felt spiritual. And that's fine. But we all need to recognize that whatever you think Odin is not what the Vikings thought Odin was. You're worshiping a culturally Christian pagan god that you made up.
What? You get to be disingenuous? Why can't I be the Easter Bunny? In Norse paganism, we repay treachery with treachery. We have things like hospitality or manners. What is a good guest or a bad guest? A bad host and a good host. So let's put some dirt on that sweater, Doc. Per the Museum of Denmark. You all did what your ancestors do. Othered everybody. It was a long, slow process. But we kept our traditions alive, which were oral traditions. And because how Christians do what Christians do, you just rewrite everything. To the point where the own revision and propaganda are quoted by modern scholars today. And we all know it and make fun of it. He pointing at you. Whether it was the Norse, indigenous people on several continents, including many of my friends in the Sami. Even you brought up witches, othering them. So thanks for proving my point. Whether it was destroying temples and converting them into churches, as the well-documented Tree of Thor and St. Boniface. Any kind of century-located library or cultural exchange. Burning books and destroying statues and other literature. But I suggest you go to many of the countries where your churches were built. Many of those doing these things, like St. Boniface, were canonized as saints and heroes for war crimes. He committed war crimes. We just didn't invent the term yet. But you wrote that out of history, so patrician warfare with faith. But hey, that was ages ago. Let's let bygones be bygones, right? We have the First Amendment now. But old traditions die hard, don't they? You have yours? Well, Doc, I carry on the tradition that my grandmother handed down from me. This is a Jolenbach. You see these around your Christmas, our Yule. She may have been born in Oslo and immigrated here, but she passed on the traditions as they did before her. That is our way. Whether it be the Havamal or the Nordic saga, it is wisdom. Oh, speaking of the saga, here's a bit of wisdom, and it's what will prove my point. The true measure of a hero is not in the battles they fight, but in the legacy that they leave behind. Wisdom from the Volsunga saga. Not only evidence that legacy was important to the ancestors, but it was something worth preserving, handed down generation to generation. Yeah, Doc, just like the Easter Bunny, they went underground. And in the Skaldic tradition, I bring you news. Well, for the audience. History is preparing to repeat itself. Just like the ancestors, the tradition of othering people is beginning again. Just like the ancient faith of Norse paganism, things have to be updated. It's rabbit hunting season, apparently. It's being proposed to bring about a federally appointed anti-Christian bias task force. Its mission being inquisitorial, to investigate all forms of illegal discrimination, harassment, and persecution against Christians, and only Christians. I'm sure you and some at home were gonna fit this video into these categories. Think about that. History repeats itself. So we might just have to go underground again. Pass along our lore and traditions underground again. Because as you said in another video, Doc,
Jesus taught that we are to love even those who persecute us. Is that what Odin teaches? Either the old one or the new?
You keep running defense for the propaganda while telling us that you love us. It didn't work on the ancestors, and it won't work on us. And like the ancestors with their all thing, we're gonna get to vote on it as well. I just hope my fellow pagans remember what happened to the ancestors and how it could happen again. But hey, until then, good luck with that fucking Elmer Fudd.